We're here with Jean Carter-Hill, the co-founder and executive director of Imagine Englewood If.
So my faith is that if we keep doing the outreach we're doing now, Imagine Englewood If, not trying to do it, but trying to connect with others so we can do it. I think that's going to be, that's going to be the foundation for the change in Englewood. That's my belief. Because we're definitely not pleased with our schools. Our children is not where they should be. We got the homeless. We got every ill just about you can think of. So if we can come to the table and talk about our problems and work together to solve them, then I think we'll get more help from the outside. Because I hear things from people on the outside saying, when I'm talking about Englewood, saying, well, what are you all doing? You know, what is happening over there? It's just like we're in another country, you know. So I think this, YoChicago is another way of people seeing that there is some good people in Englewood. There are some good things going on in Englewood. We need support. And we need funding to do some of the things that need to be done. Like now, we have some programs that we write proposals to try to keep our children off the street. Our children, just like any other children, they need guidance. And you can't help it if there's an ill in the family and nobody's responsible for putting them on the right track. It should be something in the community. I listen to some of the successful people, for instance, like some of the basketball players and other people who are successful, and they will say, it was a church, or it was a community center. I went here, I did this, I didn't hang on the street. But in Englewood, we don't have community centers. And in the summertime, if you don't have the money to pay for that summer camp, your children are not going to summer camp.
You said there is a child center or child care center built on 63rd, is that right?
Yes.
And is that underway now, under construction now?
It's completed.
It is completed. Oh.
Mayor Daley been out, they had the ribbon cutting and everything. Somebody donated millions of dollars towards that.
You said they offer daycare? What do they do?
It's daycare. I haven't been up there in the new one. They moved out of old building in Englewood. And I remember them having daycare, and they had GED and other programs. Matter of fact, next week I'm going to their fundraiser. So I'll get a chance to see what they have in the new building. I went to the ribbon cutting, but I just don't remember exactly. So crowded, I couldn't even get in the room.
Well, that's a good thing.
So it's, when I talk to people and they seem to be a little disgusted, I said, we're very close to a change in this community. I said, there are some things that's going on you don't know because maybe you're not in that mainstream. One of the things that Teamwork Englewood is doing is organizing ambassadors. That means somebody on every block to have information they can share. To be connected to a source where information, like Mayor Daley, he has, through 311 now, he has somebody who reports to Englewood and to Teamwork Englewood, and Teamwork Englewood share the results with the community. And that's when we call 311 and we said nobody ever come out. There's a record of it. In the past, they say Englewood don't call. And people would say they were calling. So now there's a backup. When you call, you get a confirmation number. And give that confirmation number to Teamwork Englewood. And at the end, I think it's a monitor. I don't know how often they get it. They can sit down and tell you how many calls was completed. And no longer people can say, I called, nothing happened. If you did and then nothing happened, they can back it up and go and make it happen. So I would say since West Englewood had the two girls that lost their lives in their homes, some things have changed in Englewood. We've gotten more support. And we just want more programs. We want more activities for children. We don't want our children standing on the street. That's how they get in trouble. So Imagine Englewood If now is in the process of finding out what type of programs we can have this summer to keep children off the street, and they can learn a skill. This meeting that we're going to have Sunday, it's going to be this Sunday at 2:30 at 1854 West Garfield. We're coming together around a garden, but it's going to be conversation to find out where the young people are trying to go, what they want to do, and try to move forward. I'll see how many we can get in slots for summer jobs. I'll see how many can be registered in a portrait class, a art class. We have a garden who've been adopted by a volunteer. Mike from the Jewish Council adopted our garden on the campus where the garden is, and he's going to have 10 young kids this summer working in the garden that will receive a stipend to work in the garden and recruit others. That's their responsibility. They got to recruit other kids in the community to work in the garden. So we'll have garden days during the summer. And then we look at other things. Teamwork Englewood usually has some projects. We find out who has some projects that can take some children to make sure that our children is not out on the street. That's the dangerous part of it. I've talked to young children I know and said, why are you standing here? You got to get off this corner. You go back through there 2 weeks later, they in jail. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't have the drugs, or somebody else is standing there with you with some, with a weapon, they don't seem to understand. Everybody goes down. Mm-hmm. So it's a big thing trying to protect our young people and trying to work with the parents so they can be empowered to be a real parent. But most of the time what happens is the funding is never there.
And most of your funding comes through grants?
Everything we get, it comes through. We have to write a proposal to get it. We're trying to work on a donate program, and we get ready to launch membership program. We had a young volunteer that was killed 2 months ago. She was the twin that was in the car and said her name, Bishop. And I shot in the back of the head just sitting in the car. She was a volunteer here and a student at Harold Washington College. So we started a scholarship for her because she really believed in her community. She would be telling other kids, you need to go over there and help somebody because you ain't doing nothing standing on the street. She was a real young lady. She was 17, just made 18. So I said, young person like that with that spirit, and I look at the short time that I knew her, she made more of a difference than some people I know 50 and 60 years old. So that type of spirit we want to capture and start a scholarship, and we've gotten it okay with her mother. She came from a single parent. So we want to do positive things. And what happens with this scholarship, it will be offered to young people going to college or in college that have community spirit. That's making a difference in the community. Not just you come up and say, I got the academics, but you got to be making a difference in somebody's life, because that's what she was about.